What's broken is a great trading experience for traders, that they can be confident that they're getting fair execution.
They built Fogo because there is a need for Fogo to exist.
The story of every chain starts the same: an idea, a breakthrough, and a limitation. And somewhere along the line, crypto forgot about that. Seconds became normal, latency became accepted, fairness became negotiable. Crypto promised to fix finance. And there's one chain focused on trading. That's Fogo.
Picture this. You've just finished your 12-hour shift at a leading high-frequency trading firm, and you've got a stack full of papers on your home desk with a task that is waiting to be complete. You need to build a high-frequency trading strategy that is on-chain. So you gather up your best and brightest developers, they write out a technical spec, and they get to work. But there's one problem. 400 milliseconds simply isn't fast enough. 200 milliseconds isn't fast enough. 100 milliseconds isn't fast enough. And there's only one solution to this: build it yourself.
There needs to be a better model than CEXs where we trust one person.
To understand why Rob and Doug built Fogo, you have to look at the two terrible options for traders right now. Option one, the centralized exchanges, the CEXs. You can get very fast trades on a centralized exchange, but at what cost? You give up custody, control, and trust. And on the other side, you have decentralized exchanges, DEXs. The pros don't want anything to do with that. So that's actually why Fogo is being built by pro traders. Builders who have tried to create professional trading tools for traders have run into a wall.
A lot of these other general purpose blockchains, they weren't built by traders with like trading in mind. And they were built more with like decentralization in mind. And they didn't think about things such as like sandwich attacks. And that has meant that there's a lot of time spent both trying to like engineer around some of these bad behaviors that come with, this design, and also trying to explain to users like what's happening and like, why their transactions failing or getting front run. And it's just like such a distraction where, we just want to solve that from the beginning so we never have to get into that.
It all comes down to one thing:
Latency, latency, latency. The problem with the trading use case is there's such thing as ARB. And if somebody's faster than you, that will take from your P&L, and that's real money. It doesn't work for trading if you're at a slower platform where other faster traders can pick you off.
So if the old way is broken, how do you fix it? You don't. You start over.
You can learn from mistakes when you're building from scratch. You're looking at like what worked and what didn't from the others, and then you have the advantage to start from a clean slate and do better.
And you rebuild it with all the knowledge you've learned in the past.
Nobody sat down and said, how do we build a blockchain that works for trading? If you start there, then you make very different trade-offs. Close the gap with the centralized exchanges on latency, protect traders from ARBs. It's not another L1 as much as it is another upgrade to L1s.
User experience. The complexity of Web3 has been a massive barrier. So, how do you make a DEX feel like a CEX?
That then comes down to Fogo Sessions mainly, right on the experience side. No signing for each trade, no gas, you don't have to think about it. One-click trading. It feels like you're trading on a CEX, both from a speed and experience standpoint.
It's so nice having sessions. It just makes everything so much easier. And like just for a user, it actually feels like a normal app. And I think you can kind of break away from the like Web3, oh, you got to wait for the spinning transaction confirmation. It's just like click, done. Like what more could you need really?
All right, look, the type of people that are here building Fogo, from the marketing team to the co-founders, and of course these super technical, gigabrain technical guys and girls, they were completely focused on either taking the traditional financial world by storm, writing a PhD thesis, or doing something in the back of school that would soon lead to a path of creativity that allowed them to market something as innovative as Fogo effectively. And it's these type of people who are the backbone of Fogo and who have built decades of trust, professionalism, and knowledge that are going to take us from zero to one.
And when you get a bunch of people in a room who've got that sort of years and decades of experience and team members to be able to sort of help them and that they can help, and you get that rhythm, Rhythm is you can't draw it on a piece of paper and just say, let's develop 25 years of a rhythm.
And what does that rhythm mean for someone actually building on the chain?
Was the quality of the people that had done it before, and not just Rob, right? Rob obviously has done it before. He's got tons of experience trading, but if guys have done it before, they've built the SVM. Wormhole has done it before. It's not their first time. Doug at Ambient has done it before. So everyone, this is their second or third rep. So that gave us a lot of confidence, basically, to come build on Fogo.
Multiple people on a team with decades of experience in traditional finance, knowing every little nuance that traders need to know. They know where all the gremlins are hidden, and they know how to fix them.
I come from trading real world assets, and the inefficiencies that exist, all of those inefficiencies are fixed with blockchains and tokenization. And we have instant settlement instead of waiting T+1. On the payment side and just peer-to-peer transactions, from traveling around the world and being in developing countries where, you know, they're waiting on lines for hours at banks. That's kind of like why I wake up and like grind so hard, is because, like, you know, I want to be part of that movement that like disrupts all of the centralized intermediaries that cause those frictions.
In tech, obsession leads to success.
We also know what we're good at and what we're experts at, and that's DeFi and TradFi.
You wouldn't turn up to a soccer game without a pair of soccer boots, and you wouldn't turn up to a cricket match without your cricket bat. So why would you turn up to the greatest on-chain trading experience without the tools you need to achieve success? And that is exactly what Fogo is building, and we call it the arsenal.
It's always good to focus on one thing and not go down kind of the jack of all trades, master of none route as a blockchain, and make sure that we're first optimized for like the hardest thing to do in crypto, which is an on-chain perp dex. And then the other part is the borrow lend. So we have two really cool borrow lends, and that's really important as well. And that's really important to support the perp dex. We've been kind of just staying with like the top like 5 use cases, and we want to make sure that these initial ones like feel support from us.
Look, there is no use in building DeFi Legos if you're putting all the bricks in different boxes and different rooms. At Fogo, we've got everything you need to build the greatest on-chain trading experience in one toy box right in the center of your favorite room, and that is the Fogo blockchain.
One problem with a lot of perp dexes are they just are siloed, where they're not really integrated into a broader system. Like we can stack a dex on top of a lending protocol, on top of yield management system, and kind of just snap these things together like Lego blocks. We always wanted Ambient to be something where not only are users using it directly, but you know, it's a Lego block on top of everything else.
And Fogo is obsessed with one thing, that is reducing latency. Every single design decision, from the user experience to the validators to where the validators are placed.
The biggest thing we've probably targeted in terms of the execution stack is around localizing consensus. Most blocks were going to be built in the same place with servers sitting next to each other. And in Tokyo, because that's where most of the crypto exchanges are, and that lets us get the best Oracle prices and all of that good stuff. But, you know, Japan has earthquake, you need to be able to move. So like we on the agave stack, like what we focused a lot of the changes on was kind of supporting this concept of their different locations and making the network more location aware. And that gives us a lot of leeway and easily to fall back, move places, decentralize like as needed in a very adaptable and agile way.
Much like Goldilocks, we think we have found the sweet spot in latency. It's not 1 millisecond because that comes with a whole host of drawbacks. It's not 200 milliseconds because that comes with a whole host of more obvious drawbacks. But we believe that 40 milliseconds is exactly where the greatest on-chain trading experience can take place.
Fogo hits the sweet spot. It's not so fast that people with, say, the fastest microsecond latency can jump in. So Fogo's block times are 40 milliseconds. That's actually perfect. This is fast enough. It's faster than a blink. Ordinary person would never even notice. It wouldn't slow. It's right at the speed where fiber, radio frequency connections, these types of things, you're not going to get an edge. If we tried to do the same thing on, say, Solana, some of the other Ethereum L2s that are 1 second, it just wouldn't be feasible.
Any blockchain will tell you that they're doing everything they can to court the army of nerds, and by nerds, I mean developers that are going to be the builders of the greatest on-chain trading experience. And at Fogo, we are doing everything we can to make it as easy as possible for you or you or you or you to jump over. If you already have experience in the Solana or SBM ecosystem, it's as easy as deploying a new contract in just a few clicks.
One principle we've always kept from day one is that this should be, from the application stack, fully compatible with Solana. So somebody who comes in and has an existing Solana program or protocol can just drop it into Fogo. And the only difference you're going to see is it's a lot faster and cheaper.
Cast your mind back to 1989. Harrison Ford, in his role as Indiana Jones, has just entered the resting place of the Holy Grail. He sees a whole array of chalices adorned with gold and diamonds and jewels, but he ignores those for something that is much simpler, the true Holy Grail, that of optimized user experience, an incredible tech stack, and a purpose-built blockchain that leads the way to deep liquidity and the greatest on-chain trading experience.
Ambient solving this with what we call the dual flow batch auction, which looks and feels a lot like the traditional central limit order book or CLOB that people are used to. It turns the first in, first out system on its head when the predators try to bunch up and, access your liquidity, access your order flow. Instead of competing on speed, they compete by giving you the best price. The really interesting thing about dual flow batch auction is when markets move in your favor, you get that benefit as the end user.
It's a system where we've taken the advantage from the MEV bots, the technical dogs that live in the basement, and the suits that live on Wall Street, and we pass it back to you.
And so really, there is a loser at the table. The loser here is high frequency traders.
This new reality, crypto's grown up.
It's become mature enough and it's growing up enough to the point that it is now going to have correlation to global flows, to global markets. There's a reason why, for Fogo, right? There's a reason why it's important to have your consensus close to global data centers where traditional finance is occurring. That sort of divide between an asset class that sort of moved based on a small number of holders that were able to sort of determine flows within a small number of wallets. It's grown up.
As crypto is maturing, something is looming. You can see it coming over the hills. It's a giant that's slowly walking towards us. It's getting closer and closer. And they want some of that sweet, sweet profit.
Corpo chains. Companies like Google, Stripe, and Robinhood making serious moves to launch blockchains. And let me tell you, the crypto space is feeling a little unprepared.
We have to go further by improving the user experience so it's even greater of any product in Web 2. We need to go further by finding world-class developers to build the greatest on-chain trading experience. And we need to go further by including you as part of the store.
The areas I do think they have advantages in is they're subject matter experts. Number two, they know how to build sustainable, profitable businesses. Number three, they're going to be very well funded. Can't be complacent against that model. What are our advantages? Number one is beating them to it. So there is advantages in terms of, the smaller challenger being more nimble, more able to react and kind of more in touch with the end user, and maybe didn't have some of those other frictions that a corporation has. So that's how I think about Fogo. Let's be fast, let's be nimble, and let's make this kind of a grassroots effort.
Community, they emphasize the importance of building an actual community that will stick around and that will help amplify our ultimate vision from the Fogo side. So when you talk to Rob, he's very passionate about community. Doug, same thing. So I think putting all the team players together and having a really good understanding how community is super important, it just makes them even more passionate to do for the community and make sure that whatever it is shipping has a community in mind.
We don't have the megaphone that these other big mature chains have. And so we depend on our community to get people's attention and explain to them why they're excited about Fogo and what differentiates us as well. They're just a key part of like making more people aware of like what we're building and our vision.
For all the trillions of dollars on the sidelines, what's been the final roadblock?
Driving on a racetrack when you don't necessarily know the speed limit, when you don't know where the next curve is going to be, it's hard for a lot of participants to try to forecast the next curve that's coming.
And as that clarity arrives, the race begins. We are past the point where narrative is enough. Now it's time to bet on performance, execution. It's not about what will be, it's about what is.
Good, really performant products sort of sell themselves just because the use cases, it's so compelling. You can't not, and it's to your detriment if you don't.
It isn't about winning the L1 wars. There will be lots of L1s. Helping other L1s where we can, that takes a different kind of mindset. That takes a different kind of leader. That takes a different kind of founder.
This idea that like we should be going to war and butting heads with each other is just like, it's not gonna allow us to take on TradFi and really disrupt things. And if we can like align and share services like where it makes sense and like have the kind of rising tide lift all ships, then like that's the play that's gonna really take on TradFi.
When you access the world of blockchain and cryptocurrency today, there are 100 and 1,000 and nearly 1 million roadblocks between you and what you want to achieve. That is trading one asset class for another asset class in the vast majority of cases. We are building Fogo in order to strip away all of that friction and make it easy for the trades to go from your mind to your fingertips into the internet, into the chain, and achieve finality as fast as possible.
The first generation of blockchains proved they could work. This generation of blockchains will prove that it can win. Fogo stands on the shoulders of giants and then builds a machine they never could. It's the moment markets finally meet a chain built for it.
Fogo is about more than just today's competition. It's about thriving in the future world that's coming. It's about laying a foundation for the on-chain ecosystem that will define the next decade. In this competitive world, you have to aim where the duck is flying. And tomorrow's duck is flying faster, smarter, and more efficiently than anything we have in crypto today. Time to go faster.